Welcome back to The Watch, and Shad Gamergate 2.0 is underway, and it doesn't look like they are winning.
No,
and by them I mean the people who are criticising gamers are being,
exposed.
Yeah, bigots, all the big words.
We've been covering this very closely, and we'll continue to cover it because this is a very important blowback for the woke agenda here, and they're losing. And one of the next phases, as I've mentioned in several videos already, is to continually expose where this rot is, okay? And vote with your wallets. So, something has arisen recently, revealing something really disgusting that's directly involved with EA. EA. Now, EA doesn't have a good reputation already, does it? No. Have they been failing? I think like a lot of big companies, like big game
they are ones I don't think have failed because they have all the sport games and IPs.
Yes.
They are very, very rich. And I actually know a few devs who have worked for EA, and in terms of the assets they have, they're pretty safe.
It's one of the harder giants to take down,
yes.
And they are one of the worst parts of AAA gaming.
I would put them up with Ubisoft. Those are the two giants.
And big problems. Now, not only have they had problems with the way they monetize their games, they make the games, the quality games, and all these stuff that people have had an issue with, well, guess what? They're on board with this woke propaganda in a deeply ingrained way as well. And so, I'm not saying, maybe like big giants have started to fall, right? Where you didn't think they would. And it's very possible that EA can get the right amount of blowback for supporting this cancerous crap that gamers do not want. We'll have to see though. But what has come out is this. This is just wild. This blows my mind. So let me bring this up, Nathan. So Libs at TikTok posted this here. And this is Danny Lalonde's, a non-binary game developer. Not like she's a woman. She's a female. It's pretty obvious. You don't need a.
That's a pronoun thing.
Like game developer. She was hired by Cliffhanger Devs. Who's Cliffhanger Devs? Let's look up Cliffhanger Devs. They got a Twitter thing. Cliffhanger Games, a new AAA studio from EA, specializing in player-driven narratives and expanse reactive worlds. Currently developing a game based on Marvel's Black Panther. So this is EA. Yeah. So let's have a look at the philosophy here of Danny Launders, who works for them, right?
I have a team of 21 right now for Validate. It's a pretty big team. It's a crazy big team for indie games.
I don't think they're indie game. They're working for a pretty big company. They might be a small team, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't define that as indie. If you're working for EA, I don't think you're indie.
But who is your team? Validate has a team of mostly all people of color. We have no white people on our team.
No white people. Now, it's like,
That's not diverse.
It's not very diverse, is it?
No.
It's not a very equal, equal representative.
No.
It wasn't equality.
Equality is what they wanted before. Yeah. But this has changed now.
That's interesting. Do you think that would happen organically? Just by, if you look at a percentage base of the amount of, black game devs looking for roles.
Unless you're in a certain part of town.
And
you're hiring in that area and only in that area.
You would have to do this on purpose.
Basically, yes.
Well, listen to what she says.
I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment.
She did that purposefully. Only hired black people. just even that is so bad. Imagine if it was reversed. It's like, imagine if a white guy says, "I will not hire black people," or only like that. So bad.
Well, she says, for a safe environment.
For a safe
environment.
spinning
that
Holy crap! And now she tries to clarify this, but wow, right?
Because she's already spoken too much. I think now she's trying to backpedal after this.
But I think she just makes it worse. Listen to this.
And I know the best way for an environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me.
Oh my gosh! like, that's just
a full-blown racist.
That's just full-blown racist. Like, the only way to be safe is to be around people like me. Like, I know what she means. People with her skin color.
Yeah.
Not like...
Not interests or gender or anything. It's just skin color.
This is... Oh, this is unbelievable. But it's there. Like, this is the whole you can't be racist to white people thing. And then, like, they think this insane racism against white people is perfectly justified. Okay? They've been deluded, brainwashed into being so unbelievably racist. They have literally become the thing that they fought to try and stop. Right? Like, there's the question that comes around where it's like, are we living in a more racist society now than not? And there are two vastly different perspectives on that question, because the left tries to sell the lie that white supremacy is larger than it's ever been before. I think it's smaller and more of a minority than it's ever been before. Like,
I think in terms of like the common man and what we deal with in day to day, it is very, very little to what we had to do even like 30, 50 years ago. Where like now, obviously, because the problem's going away, they're trying to find the new problems to bring into the spotlight.
Then we come to the other extreme. Racism against white people is bigger than I've ever seen. Okay, in Western society.
Yes.
And racial awareness. Remember, this is something that they promote, that you need to be racially aware. Why do you need to be racially aware? To literally treat people different according to the color of their skin. And their view is like, well, you need to be aware of your privilege, and you need to give people like who are minorities, if it's favorable treatment, just even the way you speak, you like all this stuff. And that's just like, hang on, that's treating someone different according to the color of skin. That is inherently racist. And I think they have succeeded in making the world more race conscious for the fact that they've been trying to promote, like, treat people differently according to the color of their skin. And their end goal seems to is causing a result where it's like, oh no, is this minority going to be offended by this or that or anything like that? When I try, because as a kid, and it's still with me today, right? Don't see race. When I'm seeing a person, I see a person. And like, we had Kramer come over and visit us, right? And he sometimes would make a remark that is Asian. And when he would do that, I was like, oh yeah, you're Asian. Like, it's completely off. Like, because when you just see someone as a person, you don't see it. And it's the same with, people I associate with online, and just friends that are, different color skins. Like, we have several dark, people that come to us for church. I see brother so-and-so, brother this, sister that, and I sometimes when something comes up of a racial, I was like, oh yeah, and isn't that what we want? Wasn't that what we were pushing for?
Yeah.
Like for me, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or The Cosby Show, they were never like black shows. They were just shows. And so I actually think almost like the peak non-racist kind of, in media seems to have been like, late 80s, 90s era, where we are in a more racist world now more than ever. Well, not more than ever. There was times when it was worse, but it's getting worse, but not in the way that the extreme left tries to promote. It's stuff like this. And this is insane. And the fact that so many people will hear this and just go, yeah, that's fair, shows how insane we are becoming as a society.
Well, I think some people are just too afraid to speak out about it because we've been told for so long you shouldn't criticize this because this person is a disadvantaged individual, and so if you're going to attack them, then therefore you're going to be attacked back.
Far be it from me to say, Nathan, I might be a radical here, but I would say, I don't think this person she looks like she has a good paying job and she's living in a, upper class. She looks privileged to me.
Well, she's working for EA on a video game that's for Marvel. That for me is pretty privileged.
I know.
I would like to work on a Marvel game.
I get the feeling she might be more privileged than you. And by the way, like people think that white people can't be discriminated against. I'm a Mormon. Do you know how much crap I got growing up, and just people teasing me and stuff like that for the sake of my religion? You got that too.
I still get it from co-workers.
Yeah. One in particular. Right. But because we're white, that's disregarded as being nothing.
Yep.
Okay? And these are people that, like, legitimately sometimes will try and threat violence and bullying and all that stuff, right? There was more bullying against me as a religious person than any type of bullying I saw any Aboriginal in school get.
Yeah.
Flat. Okay? But I'm privileged, you see, Nathan, right? And this lady, no, the reality is she looks privileged, okay? And the fact that people would excuse her racism is bonkers. And like I said, I'm a radical. I think even if they're supposedly coming from a disadvantaged background, which I don't think she is, but even if she was, that doesn't excuse racism. Radical, I know. To be so hardline against racism, to say something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shocking.
And I'm not saying that white people in the industry are creating unsafe environments.
Okay, so this is where she tries to backtrack. It's like, I'm not saying creates unsafe environments. Listen to what she says.
I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. I am saying that sometimes it is hard to work with white people because they think that something may okay, but it was really a microaggression.
I'm sorry, it's just so funny.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying that they make unsafe environments. I'm not saying it. But I'm saying that they are.
Yeah.
With this little issue I have.
Yeah, but what she's trying to say is like, oh, it's not actually like coming into office with a knife ready to stab black people.
Unsafe environment, yeah.
It's words of violence, microaggressions, and to me, like the fact that she is promoting such a false notion of microaggressions, that being violence, right? It's like, that's just as bad. You're really saying something horrible.
I'm just curious with microaggression, that means a statement, action, or incident regarding, as an instance, indirect, subtle, or unintentional discrimination against a member of... I mean, can people be racist against their own race?
Possibly.
I'm just thinking in terms of her group, are there any sort of little microaggressions that happen?
Yeah.
In terms of like...
There are things that black people say all the time that they lean into stereotypes and celebrate them, but if a white person said, and we're like horribly racist, if a white person makes a remark or a joke connecting, I don't know, KFC, fried chicken or watermelon, right? With black people, microaggression evil!
I'm just saying, those two things are fantastic, and I love watermelon KFC.
Yeah.
I would be happy to eat those for the rest of my life.
I'm happy you associate. By the way, there are so many hilarious stereotypes associated with Mormons that I just friggin' think are hilarious. So, like the whole, we don't practice polygamy, but the whole jokes around it.
Multiple wives.
Yeah. Whole Mormon culture thing, like about, I don't know if it's related to drinking Coke, not drinking Coke, being overly nice or anything like that. They're just funny, right? They're just, and there are stereotypes that you're going to be associated with, all right? And sometimes, not saying all, sometimes there's a vein of truth to them. And sometimes they're fun. Not all the time.
No, not all the time, but some.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
Yeah,
I'm just doing one of her
do you think, according to their standard, that black people could say things that white people find offensive, could be microaggressive? A lot of the statements she says in this video, perhaps?
Yeah, actually, that's a few microaggressions.
Associating white people inherently with...
unsafe environments?
By making comments that, make them uncomfortable? It's like, you got to a white person in your... Well, she doesn't have any working environment now. She's
Your
like,
postman or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like working with white people because they often say microaggressions that I find equate with violence to make an unsafe environment. Do you reckon they'll feel comfortable if you told them
That's
that?
a microaggression of itself, isn't it?
It is! That's my point!
Yeah. So I had to spell it out just in case people missed it.
It's astounding the hypocrisy of these people, right? This is an overt, explicit racist that's only hiring people according to the color of their skin, based on a judgment of people's behavior that is solely linked to the color of their skin. She believes white people act in a certain way, so much so that she will not even want to work or be around with them because she feels unsafe, in a sense of uncomfortable, it seems like.
And you know what, for me at least, it'd make more sense if you said, I hire these people because of the games that we make. I want people who have obviously certain lifestyles, who've experienced things. If making Black Panther, it makes sense to hire people who understand the culture and speak in the same way that they do. But the fact that her excuse is, I just hate white people because they scare me.
I know, but even if she said that, right, I would still call it like, hang on, I'll say it's racist. Like, you can't find a single white person who could work on any aspect of what you're developing for Black Panther.
Well, they could do, that's the thing.
Exactly. And so if they, I'm almost glad that they are so stupidly honest with who they really are, and they don't feed the bullcrap where it's like, we just, we're looking for people, the best for the job. That's the bullcrap that Rings of Power trying to push.
Yes.
It's like, no. We get what you purposely race change, not because it was the best, but because of political bullcrap, right? That's the reason. And so...
I like at least, yeah, you're right. She's very...
At least she's
upfront with it all.
honest.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
She's still a racist.
But at least it's out in the open.
But this is an important takeaway. This is for Cliffhanger Devs, which is a studio from EA Games. And EA has allowed this. I would not be surprised if they actually encouraged it. That they have DIEEI, whatever it is, hiring tick boxes. Absolutely. Yeah. And so EA is on board with this crap. And it's just one, like a lot of the AAA gaming companies are. And we did a video, might be out before this one, giving not a recap, but like following what's happening with Gamergate 2 and stuff, calling out the faux oppression and harassment that they're pretending they're getting, and it's actually not, but they're lying about it, right? Call that out. But in that video, I talk about zero tolerance now. Okay, that's where I'm at. I'm at a point where I see even one thing like this, dead. I might have been interested in a Black Panther game. This one, I'm not going to support people like this. No, this game is dead to me. I will not even give it a second thought in regards to purchasing or buying. I might meme on and dunk on it, especially if it comes out, like if it's crap, yeah, we'll laugh at it, okay? That's all it'll get. And that's where we're at. That's what you guys, if you're fed up with this, that's what you need to do. Send a message. EA Games should be on this list, okay? With several others. And when we see them, we will call them out, because we stay on watch.